Hey yo, what's up, good people? This is Nicole Rose. Are you enjoying what you're listening to? Well, I'm pretty sure others will as well. Don't forget to share these podcasts with all of your friends so they'll be up to date and current on everything the Fret Sisters have coming at you. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. It's going to be crazy. Bananas. Go on and share it. Share it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fret Sisters Presents Between Frets, a space where female musicians who play string instruments meet and discuss all things music. I'm Jenny Jam, your host for today. And today I'm here with one of our founders, Shorn Marshall, right? Woo! And so we're here today because we usually have these special podcast editions, a roundtable of all the founders or a roundtable of a few of us. Today we had just me and Shorn, and it's our special episode of Fret Tea Talk. And that's where we talk about things that are happening in the industry, any current events, any popcorn eating type, type talk that's related to a female musician. So today's topic is moms in music. Yay! I think, I think it's actually relatable to a lot of female musicians out here, whether you're a mom or you're a daughter, basically, I think it relates to a lot of us, or you're becoming a mom, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, there's a lot of limitations, especially when you're pregnant.
Yep, definitely. I think that first, before we even go into this, let's just kind of discuss really quickly about ourselves and how we relate to this topic. Me, Jenny Jam, I have 3 kids. One's a 13-year-old, and I have 2 older ones that are in college. So, I've had my share. I've been playing since before I was pregnant, and had kids. So, pretty much that's, my little family. And Shorn, what about you?
I have 2 kids. I have an 11-year-old son and a 7-year-old unicorn daughter. Yeah, she's my unicorn. And I've been a single mom for a very long time. I'm not married. And it's kind of hard to balance all that because I've been singing a lot. So I've been singing through my pregnancy while they're in my stomach. So they do hear me singing in the womb. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like when you actually have newborns or younger, infants and toddlers, it's kind of much harder to do gigging and any appearances because you have to find a babysitter. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to find sitters. Especially you have you might have a little support system, but sometimes things happen and it's kind of, and you got to turn down a lot of opportunities because you don't have a sitter. Every decision that we have to make has to be based on the kids' decision, who's going to watch the kids. And that's my brain is every time I have something going on, I was who's going to watch the kids? Who's going to watch the kids? Mm-hmm. Blah, 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 blah. So that's my whole thinking, who's going to watch the kids if I do this? Or if it's a place that is kid friendly, I can bring the kids with. And they love to see me perform. They love to see me perform. They love to see me record and do things because they love to see me in my anime because they know that that's what I love to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the question, that can actually bring this, start this all out is, having a child and being a mother. Has it changed the way you approach your career? Like you were saying, when they're younger, it's a little bit harder, especially if you're a single mom. And shout out to all the single moms that just go, that not just music, but just everything, trying to get their career down and, focused and succeed in that. Plus be a good mom, which I think you do have to make a lot of changes, especially if you're a single mom. Like in my case, I was married at the time. I'm not married anymore, but my kids are a lot older. So it's a little bit easier on me, when you have older kids. But when I was pregnant with my first child and I was still performing actively, I had somebody there that would help me And especially like I just would go right back out and play again, plus holding down a full-time job and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think, it's really the way you do it and then still have that passion for it. So you might, at least you have to take a few months off to be able to get settled in, take care of your kid. I mean, you have to take care of the kid.
And set a schedule, because we always got to set a schedule. That what makes it more easier for the mom, especially as a single mom. I had to make a schedule every day, what time to have dinner, what time they go to bed, what time they, wake up and stuff like that. So it's kind of like everything is a major routine that will never end. So
Definitely.
as long as while you get a chance to settle in the life of motherhood, you also got to build a schedule for not only for yourself, for your child. That way, one child is taking a nap or something like that, you have that little time for yourself to maybe do a little practice routine on your guitar, or try to learn a song or two, or write. So sometimes there is some easy ways to sneak in a little bit of music in your schedule.
I know that as my kids were growing, because usually when I guess in their infant stage, it's kind of hard and easy because they sleep a lot, or they get in a stage where they don't sleep a lot, or they're a little bit more, because they're just growing. So in there, yes, you would set a schedule. And I know as they got older, to the point where they were walking, talking in elementary school and all that kind of stuff, I had them more involved in my practice schedule. So I know that, I even hear it from male musicians, I guess, that have kids, where they're like, I can't practice because my kid and, whatever, and this is I usually see it on the other side, not really so much on females, but what I would do is when I practice, I would let them know it's kind of like, this is part of my life and this is going to be part of your life. So know that when I practice, know that it's a serious thing. I mean, they're young, and of course they're going to get in and, try to touch your stuff or bug you or whatever. But it's pretty much like how you discipline every child to do, how you go about disciplining in general, and how you raise your kid. So you say, this is part of my life, and don't change that, but make them part of it. You said you take your kids to performances. Like if it's kid friendly and you're allowed to, you bring your kids in so that they can see part of your life. They can get used to that, Yeah, so they like to see me when I'm at recording, recording my music, and see how I do in rehearsals. They go to rehearsals with me every week. So they see me how I rehearse and how we take it very seriously when we prepare to do a gig. So they love to see me sing. They love to see me play. And it's they shows that this is mommy's passion. And if she can do that, I can fulfill my dreams as well. That's the whole thing, is being a example for your child. You conquer your dreams. If you can conquer your dreams, they can conquer theirs, no matter what they want to do with their lives. That's exactly what it is setting an example for them. I think that's, again, it could be so hard just trying to balance a career and a family. But I think having them the right mindset going in there and sharing that passion with them, definitely helps. So, let's get to the next question. Because, you have this career in music, you have your kids, you bring them along. Have you ever, Sean, had anybody judge you for the fact that you have kids? Or I guess this could be the two-part question. Has anybody ever judged you musician wise for having kids and dealing with music? And have you ever been turned down for a gig because you had kids?
Well, it depends on the situation. They didn't judge me because the people that I work with, when I work for an artist, which I still do work for this artist, she has kids of her own, so she knows about I don't have a sitter. She said, just you can take them to rehearsal with us. I was like, okay, cool. And usually they say, are you free on that day? or something like that. And I just said like one day that, okay, my son has a winter concert and I want to be there to support him. Then I did turn down a gig once before because I didn't have a sitter at the time, and I just had to make sure that my kids are okay and safe before I even do anything for myself.
Mm-hmm. But has anybody ever not given you a gig because you've had kids? You know what I mean?
If I
like, have you ever lost a gig because you had kids? Like, I mean,
no, not really.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, I think in my case, because I've been playing for a long time, like back in the 90s is when I was really given music. Now I didn't have any kids back then. I started having kids like late 90s, early 2000s. Late 90s is when I started having my kids, early 2000s. And back then it was crazy because I was pregnant, and this is something that, I mean, sometimes I'll talk about if it ever comes up, but I was pregnant with my first child, and I got a phone call, and this was a long time ago when Keenan Ivory Wayans was doing a talk show. Mm-hmm. And he was looking for a female band, and somebody recommended me, and I got the call. And it was me and actually this other drummer that I played with in a band here in DC. And we got the call, but I was pregnant. But I just started, I was just pregnant, but I wasn't really, of course I was going to get turned down for the gig because I was pregnant, but I did get turned down for that because I was pregnant, even though I didn't look it. Another thing is that the judging is, yes, I've been through that a lot. And really not so much judging, but I would be in situations where I would be in a band, right? And then the leader of the band would be like, we gotta practice more because we need work on this or that, or we need to get more serious and start having like not daily practice, but like weekly practices and all that. And then somebody in the band who didn't want to do it would be like, well, I'm not sure that works because Jen, has kids and a family, so she probably wouldn't have time. Yes, wow. It's happened a few times that people would say that in a situation. And if it's not that, it would be something else. Saying that because we can't move forward is because I have kids. And I look at them and I'm like, that's not an issue with me.
Yeah.
So, if you think that you don't want to do it, then admit that you don't want to do it. Don't put it on me because I have a kid, because you want to not do it. You know what I mean? Like either that, or maybe you don't think I could be as dedicated. But I've had situations where people think that I won't be able to have the ability to do certain things because I had kids. And that was back then. This could go into our next question, where if the perception of moms in music has changed for better or worse from 10 years ago to present. And I could say that because more females are coming out and playing, and there's a lot more females that are celebrity status, that are setting examples. But back then, I'm telling you, it wasn't like that. I seriously, even to this day, do not even talk about my family. But I don't really do that anyways. I'm not really like an open person, like, hey, I have all these, like, I don't really talk about my life to people I don't know anyways. But in situations where it comes to work, I don't mention anything, because at least I know back then that's how it was. Like, you just there to do your work, and you don't open yourself up to anything, because then they'll judge you. They'll judge you. You might lose that job.
So back then you just say, just keep your private stuff private and just focus on the professional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I still do today. But yeah, it's not like I was mean to it. Of course, if I made friends, then, I would open up. If I was just put in a situation where it was a job, then you're hiring me as a guitarist, and it's business, personal. I kind of do that at my regular job too, as a designer. I don't really, I kind of keep the personal and the business separate. I think it really helps when you're a working mom trying to be successful in life and in your career. Is just keep your business life separate from your personal life.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess with you, Shorn, it's a little different. You haven't had to deal with a lot of discrimination, I guess is what we would call it.
Yeah. I just tell them like, oh, I'm like, if I was like pregnant, which I would never ever have no kids ever again, because I don't want to go through that again. But if I were to get pregnant again, and then there's like, oh, this bunch of kids coming up and here and there, I really have to take it easy on myself, because if I'm sitting here performing, I don't want to put too much stress on the baby, and then the doctor said, oh, you're gonna be on bed rest for a week, you need to stay your ass in bed.
Yeah.
And it's very hard because you got other children, you got to get them ready for school, make sure they have breakfast and all that stuff, and you also still got your other daytime job that you have to do. And hopefully, thank God, that if they let you work at home, that'll be the great thing, because you don't have to worry about leaving the house or getting out of bed. But when you are a full-time musician and you're pregnant and you have to be on bed rest, the only thing that I can probably do is either write or practice on the guitar. And I just keep practicing and grinding, but I'm not going to stress myself out. At least I'm in bed and keep my feet off the ground.
Yep. I know a perfect example of a young artist out there right now that just went through it is Cardi B. The thing that I loved about her is, well, I guess she came out first and she hit it, right? And I think, I'm not really sure what the reasoning for that was. But then when she actually came out, I was like, it's so powerful to have somebody like her that a lot of people don't really see eye to eye with her, just her past, her present, her future, everything. She's either loved or hated. But she even comes out and says how hard it is to have a baby, and gave up the tour with Bruno Mars and everything, but she's still killing it. You know? She's still out there killing it. So I think today it's probably a lot better. We have a lot more role models out there that are in the spotlight, that are able to, give women like the hope of, or the idea that, it's okay to have kids and you could still have a successful career.
Yeah, it's just a particular mom. We want to do it all. We don't want to just be Susie homemaker in the house and just raise the kids. And then if you are married and have the man bring home the bacon lies. We just want to be able to be, not only to be success in our careers, but also be I would not say perfect, because we're not perfect, but like a great, or a good, at least a good mother to our kids, and make sure that they have everything that they need in order to have a better household. Due to the fact that as a woman, it is our job as a role to maintain our household. And to maintain our household, the kids always had to be a priority first. Anything what my kids had to do first, and then I have other things I do with my music career. I do what I need with my kids first before I work on my music and stuff. That's how I did all my scheduling, how I squeeze in a little bit of myself in each couple times a day, just to have a little bit for myself to have a balance.
So that's kind of leading into the next question, which is the best part about being a musician and a mom. You can be creative. Well, you're a mom, so you have to be like the discipliner, raising the kids, making sure that you raise them right. There's always going to be something with kids, but then you can get away and be creative at times.
Yeah, but I had to improvise a lot.
Well, you have younger kids too. I'm telling you. Well, as they get older, it's actually a little easier. We could just jump right to the next question, which is what do your kids, think of your music? So with me, it's like when they were younger, they would come to my shows. I would bring them to shows. I wouldn't bring them to rehearsal so much, but just because I had a spouse back then, it was a lot easier to just leave them at home. but they would come to my gigs, and they always wanted to come. But when they grew up, they were like, no, I don't want to go. They're like, I'll stay home. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's a lot easier on me. I don't have to worry about them. So I think as they get older, it gets a little easier, but it seems like the time, and I guess I'm preparing you, Sean. It seems like the time between like their teen years. So I guess that would be like middle of middle school to high school. They're at the point where they're just like, it's like my mom played, that kind of thing. They're I don't know if your kids will, but I just feel like at least
my son, yes, he's in middle school, and yes, he always, like, when he has a YouTube channel,
really?
And he just like, he shouts me when I be on the video. Sometimes he shouts me out. It's like, make sure you check out my mom's music and her videos and all that stuff. So I was like, Isaiah.
Yeah, at least like in high school and stuff, they start to not really care, not really want to, like, they just don't care. Oh, so what? She's like not in music. Some kids do, but I know my kids were just like, we don't really care. And but now it's like at least the two that are in college are like so into like what I'm doing right now, and they're so proud of it. And my 13-year-old, he's actually okay with it too, which is kind of weird. He's the one, he turns me on to a lot of like current music, and a lot of the current stuff that's out, a lot of, like the hip hop that's out, a lot of the R&B, the alternative R&B that's out. He's been turning me on to it. It has a lot of good guitar in it. It seems like there's just a lot of good guitar in it. So I did a couple of not tutorials, but a couple of videos, and he is just so happy. He would sit there and show his friends, and his friends like, what? Your mom? That's your mom playing? Pretty much like, she's playing that song. And yeah, he would be really happy. Yeah, so do you think that any of your kids have any, the gene of music and kind of, will...
Yes, they are.
Oh, like you said, your son has a YouTube page.
No, he doesn't have like music and stuff. He just like to, crazy random stuff. But my son, he's in choir in school, and he also in the band, and he does percussion. He wants to do drums. I was like, Isaiah, if you want to learn how to play drums, you actually got to practice and do the work. So practice like you are doing homework, to the fact that you barely do homework. And my daughter, she loves to sing. Like, I hear her singing before the crack of dawn. I was like, oh Lord, she's up. Don't need a Lord up. I hear her singing and dancing in front of the TV and singing and dancing.
That's so awesome.
And so, she says, I want to learn how to play the guitar. I was like, oh Lord.
That's so great. I know.
Yeah, because I told her, if I teach you the guitar, like, you need to be serious. I don't have time to, you just play the guitar and like, you just quit for seconds because you don't want to put in the work.
Exactly. I know my oldest daughter, she wanted to learn how to play. And so she's like, I want to learn this song by Coldplay. What song was it? Oh, I forgot what it was. It's like, I know what it is, but I forgot what it was called. Anyways, while I talk to you, I'm going to look it up really quick.
Is it Yellow?
It's an acoustic. There was a band, or not a band, but these guys on YouTube called Boyce Avenue, and they did a cover of it. It's Fix You. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Because everybody was saying about Yellow, and everybody wanted Yellow.
It's called Fix You, and this like cover band on YouTube, they're like big on YouTube, called Boyce Avenue, did a version of it, and I guess they had an acoustic. She's like, Mom, I want to learn how to play that. So I was like, okay. I went on Guitar Pro, which is a transcription, for tabs and music, and I went and I tabbed it out, and I also put the chords on there. And it's a capo song, so you would capo it on the 3rd fret. But so I showed her it really quick, then I showed her the tabs and I showed her what chords I was playing. So I kind of like showed her really quick, and she just grasped onto it so easily. She started playing it, and then she started teaching herself other songs just by looking up at like online and getting tabs and learning songs. And I think actually in my family, musically, there's nobody musical. So I don't know how I got into music, but my family is more like artists and stuff, more designers, like drawers and stuff. And but not musically. But on her father's side, they're like geniuses, and they're all musical. So I'm thinking that she probably got more of the music genius, the fact that she was able to pick up the guitar, learn that song, and then just start getting into it. Like within, I'm telling you, Sean, within like 3 months, 4 months, she was learning new songs. And like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't like that. What happened?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
She's like, learn every single song that she likes, look it up and learn it.
Yeah, she was learning.
Wow.
Like the other thing too is she learned Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. And she got that Travis picking down. And I'm like, I play it a lot, but I don't play it right. Like I'm Travis picking, but I'm not playing it right. I know I'm not playing it exactly right. So I have her play it for me sometimes because she's got the exact way of playing it. I'm like, what? The funny thing though is that she doesn't want to be a musician. She doesn't want to play guitar. She's also a great illustrator. Like she can draw. My other daughter are superb at drawing, but they don't want to do that as a career. That's what I do as a career. I'm like, what's up? And my oldest daughter doesn't want to be a musician, but she loves playing guitar. So who knows? She's really good, but
well, at least we have that as a hobby.
Yeah, she's got a couple things. But yeah, so I found that interesting. Now my youngest son, he tried the violin for a little bit and then gave it up. So I'm not sure like where he's going, but he likes to write, and he's really good at writing, like poetry and stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's really into.
Be prepared to have publish his first book at the age of 16.
Yep. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I encourage him, and I think I think it's cool though, especially with you hearing your daughter sing. I mean, that's just got to be like kind of cool. Maybe.
Yeah, this is what happens. You've been singing while you're pregnant, and then they hear your singing voice in the room.
Yep. When I was pregnant with all three of them, I pretty much played until I gave birth. But when afterwards, I took 3 months off. I know some musicians around here that I play with that were pregnant and would start working the next week. I'm like, I couldn't do that. I don't understand. We are superwomen, but my gosh, nobody tells you about the afterbirth, right after you give birth to a kid. Nobody tells you about those weeks afterwards where you have to go through. And to me, even though I feel like I'm a strong woman, I was not strong. I was a little weakling. I was like, what?
I was not strong. This is a bunch of history with me. Like no epidural on both of my kids because didn't have the time to do it.
Oh gosh.
No IVs or nothing. It's just like a history. Like my son, I was waiting forever for a doctor to check me, and I just walked around, just deal with the contractions. I just sat down in the bathroom on the toilet, and all of a sudden I saw a head.
Oh, geez.
I saw a head. I was saying, head. Everybody was running into the bathroom, but they called Isaiah before he went in the toilet.
Oh, jeez. What a story.
Yeah, so it's like my mom said, like, your son's going to be a swimmer. I was like, why? Because he almost went on the toilet.
That's funny.
And then my daughter is like, I almost had her in my apartment.
Wow.
That's how quickly. It was a shortest labor, like 2 hours.
Those are probably
I was like,
those are probably the best ones.
Yeah, I just went. I was just chilling, just walking around. Went to the bathroom. All of a sudden, I was like, okay, something's not right. I need to get my labor bag. We need to get ready to go to the hospital. And then all of a sudden I was on the floor, and it's like my son was like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "I think your sister's coming." And he's like, "My baby sister's coming. My baby sister's coming." And then her father was freaking out. I told him to shut up. Call the 911, like for real. And then I was texting everybody. I was like, "The stork is coming in for a landing."
Oh my gosh.
that was like my code. That was my code word that know that I was giving birth. The stork is coming in for a landing. We went to the hospital. They was keep saying the nurses and people were saying the same question. I almost cursed them out twice. I was like, "Oh, come on, just get over with it." And then they came in. The doctor came in. He's like, "You're fully dilated. You need to push now." I'm like, "What? We just got in the hospital."
That's amazing.
We just pushed her out, and there she goes. They both came out like around the same time, like both like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow. That's amazing, man. Yeah, I definitely.
And all I was worried about was some food afterwards because I was hungry.
Tell me about it. It's a lot of work.
It is. All that pushing, and you didn't eat anything.
You know, I know that I won't be having any more kids. I'm pretty much done. But, you know.
Me too. No more. I'll probably think about when I'm married.
Yeah. But I think, you know, the bottom line, the next question would be any advice for working moms. I mean, being a mother and raising a family, you know, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's a hard thing. But there is a way mentally to balance it. I mean, the support system, Sharon, you mentioned early on, support system.
Yeah.
Whether you're single or you're married or you have a significant other, those, you know, they help, of course. So even if it's not your immediate family or relatives, it's friends, it's a support. But I think that you can be successful being a mom and balancing a career, doing music. It's really, I think you could definitely pull it off. Everybody, you know, who's pregnant maybe or wanting to have kids. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it be negative. It's not a negative thing. Even though we're saying, "Oh gosh, you know, whatever." Kids are beautiful, bottom line. But do you have any advice, Sharon?
I just say like take advantage of that. It takes the village. Take advantage of that.
Definitely.
Because it's like you don't want to be super mom and do everything yourself, and just time to take that. Like, I'm still working on my issue with my pride and all that crap, but it's take the pride out the door and let people help you whenever they can. Like, if they can help pick up your children for school while you are at a meeting, or like make sure they bring some food or something, like take them out to eat, take them to a movie, get like a couple hours to yourself. Please take that advantage of that, because without people that will support you while you're being a mother and your music career, it will not go very easy. It will be so unbalanced, and I think it's just best to, you know, just as long as you have like everything you need for your children, everything will fall into place.
Exactly. You teach them your life. You know, you teach them part of your life, and it just gets easier and easier as they get older.
Just have them involved in your second, so you can get to know the other side of you. And the music, if the music is the other part of your life, have them involved, because music is around these kids. They hear music in their smartphones, tablets. They have music in schools. They hear songs on the radio in the car. So have them be a part of that, like part of your life. Like, have them, you know, do a song with them or something, like sing a song with them. If you recording an album, and have them be a part of it. Or like me with my music video, I have my kids involved in the video and just do like crazy dances and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Just have them be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think this was a positive sort of the real, right, about being a mom.
Yeah.
We had a good time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll start wrapping this up. Shorin, let everybody know. We'll just keep doing this after every episode. Definitely let everybody know what's going. If you have anything new. I mean, we all know about the video, but say it again. Keep plugging, and also where people can see you, on social media out there.
Well, make sure you download my single "Fu Trolls" remix featuring K Quick on all online platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all that. Make sure you catch up with me on Instagram, Storm Music Official. I had to change that because people think that Storm M is Storm, but it's Storm Music Official. Like my page on Facebook on Storm Music to get the latest updates of what I'm doing. Because sometimes I usually don't post a lot of things, but anything that comes up or I post those up mostly in Instagram. So you can just catch me on Instagram and see the quirkiness, shenanigans I do on and outside of the music industry. Oh yeah, subscribe my YouTube channel because you will get to see that my reality.
Oh, yeah.
Like as an artist, and that was me prepping for the video and all that stuff. So you get to see my crazy shenanigans on and off.
I was watching some of it. I'm gonna have to watch the rest of it, but that was funny.
You saw the bloopers one when my son fell. That was like the epic.
Oh, when he fell, I saw that. That's great.
Yeah, we was walking through the studio. It was like a little tiny little step. We got in, and then we walked in. I was going to sit down. All of a sudden, I heard a thump on the floor.
Awesome.
And everybody was laughing. And I was like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "What was on the ground? Why made you trip?" He's like, "He tripped on his shoelaces."
That's awesome.
So that was like a memorable moment from shooting this video. Is him trip on the. Everybody was laughing.
Oh man. So yes, definitely.
My son was so embarrassed.
But he got you some good footage, right?
Yeah.
So everybody check out Shorin's videos on YouTube, the bloopers and her music video, and definitely go on her Instagram and check out all her new music that's coming out. Go on to Spotify or on the digital outlets. Fu Trolls is out. This is awesome. So let's go ahead and end this. I'm Jenny Jam. You can reach me at Jenny G with a G, Genny JAM as in Mary, Jenny Jam, on YouTube and Instagram. Yep, that's it. So that concludes our episode of Fret Sisters Presents Between Frets. And this is Fret Tea Talk. So hopefully we're going to have actually more topics. So stay tuned because we got some good stuff coming up, right, Shorin?
Yes. So if you want to hear the tea, bring a glass of wine or beer because all that is going to be coming unfiltered.
Unfiltered, yep. All right. So everyone have a great day, night, evening, noon, whatever time it is out there. Have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, Riff Girl, what's our riff today? Let's give a little something what you're about to play. Hey!
Made by Jenny Jam. What's up? Jenny Jam here. What you just heard was an original riff by Fret Sister. Got an original riff? Send it to us and we'll feature you and shout you out. Contact us at Fret Sisters on Instagram or at Fret Sisters 1 on Facebook. Or you can email us at fretsistersmusic@gmail.com. Come on, join the community and let's play.